Hello there guys, and welcome back to a brand new Star Wars Squadrons video. Today I'm going to be talking about how Squadrons could work with regards to post-launch content. Could we be seeing any? What could it be? And more. So we know that Squadrons isn't built as a live service title, as creative director Ian Fraser has said, but he also added I guess we could with regards to adding content post-launch. Now whilst this game so far is meant to be an old style of you buy the game, that's it, go and enjoy, I see no reason why we couldn't see post-launch content beyond October 2nd, and I really do feel as though this decision would ultimately come down to two key factors. The first being sales performance and the second being community response. EA is not planning to disclose their sales targets right now, and even if Squadrons doesn't sell well, EA CEO Andrew Wilson said that he will be happy at the breadth, meaning wide range, of games that they've created with the partnership thus far. So ultimately, we may not really find out how well Squadrons does in terms of its overall early performance until the first few months have been up when EA do another earnings call, and I feel like that's why it also depends on the community response, as those two kind of go hand in hand. Already we've seen a huge amount of requests for post-launch content from the community, with the likes of new maps, new ships like the B-Wing and TIE Defender, new components, new skins for your pilots and ships, even the other two eras like the Clone Wars and the sequel trilogy. So earlier today I asked on the Reddit Discord server and on Twitter that if we saw post-launch content, and that's if we see it, what would you like to see? And I had some pretty interesting responses. The likes of a reprogrammed B1 battle droid for the New Republic as a pilot skin was thrown around, the Battle of Scarif, Jakku and Exegol as maps and therefore era expansions was there as well, and then there was the kind of the usual new ships, of which the idea of 3 Millennium Falcons was also thrown about. Not to name and shame anyone here. Okay, that was obviously a joke, but from these responses and many others, you can see that this game genuinely has so much potential, whether it's post-launch content or whether they go on to make a separate game for the Clone Wars and a separate game for the sequel trilogy, who knows. Going back to those two key factors, if the game sells well, then great, and if the community response to the game is also positive, then that's obviously even better. Let's assume those two things go really well after launch. We would then, like now, see a lot of requests for post-launch content, and as I said before, this game is not a live service, which means we won't be seeing regular and consistent content updates, but what we could have is every now and again they release a new batch of skins for your pilots and your ships that you could then go and unlock via new challenges. Maybe a month or two after that, we could then see new ships enter the fray along with a new map or something. I've seen a lot of people saying that if we got maps and ships, they should be free, but skins could be paid. But that then kind of goes into the microtransactions territory, in which they've already come out saying that they're not going into. They could potentially release post-launch content with paid DLC, but that would therefore split up the player base, and perhaps you and 2 other squad mates, for example, have the DLC, but your other 2 friends don't, which means you can't actually then go and play as a full squad on the new content and only do your original stuff, which would suck until they actually got the DLC, if they ever get it. That whole thing really is open for a discussion. That's not something I'm really trying to get into right now. So going back to my starting questions, could we see post-launch content? Well, Ian Fraser said I guess we could, so provided that sales and community response are really positive, then I don't see any reason why we can't. And with regards to what it could be, well, there's new ships, skins, components, maps, new story, campaigns perhaps, and other eras like the Clone Wars and sequel trilogy content with the First Order versus the Resistance, and even more game modes as well. The potential for this game post-launch really is huge, and I really hope that EA and Motive really hold on to this game and exploit that, giving us new maps and skins with the odd additional fighter perhaps as well. Like Battlefront 2, I can really see this going on for a good few years, especially if they really dive deep into that ranked system for fleet battles and give us some rewards from that, perhaps have some sort of competitive scene with that as well. Being optimistic, this game really can go on for a long time, but it really is dependent on what EA really plan on doing. That is it for this one though guys. Let me know in the comments what kind of post-launch content you want to see from Squadrons, if we do get any. My next video will of course be on Wednesday at 7 PM BST, so make sure you are subscribed and have those notifications turned on. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the force be with you always.